The Symphonium Giant. Let's talk about it. Now, this is an expensive IEM. It's a $700 IEM that I purchased with my own money. Was able to sell a few things and decided I wanted a bassy set. So I had not demoed this, but I rely on the brand recognition. I know a lot of people that have recommended this, so I thought I'd give it a go, and I thought it would make good content. So this has a dynamic driver and a BA, and this is a personal purchase. So this is going to be maybe a slightly shorter or more consolidated video, as I have other things, other reviews and other things I got to get recorded. So this is really just a fan review. But let's get into the build quality of this IEM. First of all, the outside box is actually pretty cool. It comes in with a little For You sticker on it. The inside box, Own Your Sound, it's just kind of a nice feature to have an inside and outside box. It comes with stickers as well, which I also deem to be a massive bonus. And this is the card where it looks like, and you have a little personal signed thank you for your purchase and my serial number. This is the warranty card. This is a Giant warranty card. I don't know. I think it's a fun touch. I like this unboxing experience a great deal. The case is fantastic. Symphonium audio. It's magnet. It's leathery. It feels good. I dig it. The cable's divisive. It does have a screw lock system where you can change this out to other terminations. It's a nice cable. I like the feeling of this. It has a nice, Y split. It has a chin slider if you need it, but it is a slight problem with it. There are no ear hooks on these, but it does have a nice red right, blue left connector on this. Good cable. Some issues though. Here are the tips. Might kind of keep flying off everywhere. I kind of don't like this system, but it's not bad. All right, the IEM itself is actually really slight. I like kind of this pretty blue color of this IEM. And overall, it's just a nice shape for me. It fits me better than any of the other IEMs I've tried from Symphonium Audio. And so that's a bonus. I like the faceplate. It's pretty typical. Flat 2-pin cable connector. Now the nozzle fits ear tips very well. And overall, it's a comfortable metallic shell that works. Okay, so how does this guy sound? Okay, there's bassy, super bassy, and almost psychotically bassy, and this is kind of in that almost psychotically bassy. Now, to be a little bit more specific, it's not sub-bass, but mid-bass focus. We'll talk about that in the graph section, but it's a very rich tonality in that it almost changes how everything sounds. It's almost like having an IEM that's on tubes. So this appeal is not going to be for everyone. If you are looking for a neutral IEM, don't buy this. If you're looking for a warm, fun, bassy IEM from a good company, I think this could be a real possible win. We'll do some comparisons, but it is a fun, engaging set with some great upper mids and treble, despite it being a really bassy boy. Let's look at some graph. Okay, let's look at the graph of the Symphonium Giant. What do you notice? There's a late bass rise. It has just a very late bass rise. Like it starts right around maybe almost 600. If you normalize this around 700, you can see kind of how chunky that bass rise is. So what it does is it creates almost so much warmth. Like I read somewhere about one of the tuners was saying that they tried to make an IEM that made so much warmth they could almost not stand it. And this is kind of at that crazy level of warmth. So there is a ton of warmth. You'll notice that this, the target right around maybe 200 to 300, and this kind of starts popping off right around 700 or something. It's super bassy. So this is a unique signature that's not going to be for everybody. I wanted to show you one of my favorite IEMs. This is the Afu Performer 7. This is only like a $240 IEM. If you're looking for value, you don't want the Giant. There's a lot of other IEMs that are under 300 that could really work for people that are going to be a much more balanced sound. Like you get rid of that warmth. It almost hugs the target. It's just a little bit more of a pleasant tonality and something to recommend over the Giant. Now, the Giant is not the only one from Symphonium I reviewed. I've owned a Crimson that I bought off the used market, and my problem with the Crimson is that it has nice tonality, but it just pops off in this upper air and makes it kind of a little bit jank for me. Now, some people are going to like the Crimson. I did not, and that's, whatever. This is the hobby where you can like what you like, but that's kind of what I didn't like. Now, I did really like the Europa. I'm going to get rid of the other one here. Maybe make this some different colors here. But for me, the Europa, what was great about the Europa is just that the Europa, it tamed that treble down from the Crimson. Bring that back. You can kind of see that here, how it gets tamed down. But it's about the same tonality, give or take. And so the Europa is like one of my favorite IMs. It's like one of my top 5. I've seen Europas for like on the used market for like 800 or 900, which is not too much more than the Giant. And if you're looking for a neutral set with a little bit of fun and just awesomeness, the Europa is a really nice set in that regards and would get a high recommend. Whereas the Giant is just kind of, it's flavored. It's unique is the nice way of putting it. Some are going to call it warm poo or just warm garbage when they hear it. Like if you're looking for that clean, clear audio sound, you're not going to get it from the Giant, dude. I'm not going to mince words. This is just me talking about earphones, dude. And this is just the single most warm, rich tonality. Like everything that comes out, like any kind of vocal sounds like 2 octaves higher. It's almost like just normal guys that have regular voices, like, hey, I'm Barry White, how you doing? And it's just popping off crazy. So I can't warn you enough how warm this tonality is and to watch out for it if you're worried about that. And if you are a midhead and you really want something with clean mids, this ain't it. So let's look at a few others. Like the only people that I saw graft the Giant and the Meteor at this time, there's only like 3 of them, this is Elise Audio where you can actually buy this. And you'll notice a few difference, the main difference is that the Giant has a little bit more of this 1.5 to 2.5 region and dips a lot more in the treble. So there's actually more treble in the Giant, like this upper treble area, which, I mean, if you look on my graph, it doesn't really seem to have that much upper treble. But there is kind of something to note about the tonality of this guy that is completely different. Another item I want to compare this to is the Variations. Now, the Variations, some people call it bassy. It is not. The Variations kind of has this scooped out, like 150 to 200 range. And just notice how much more this is. And then if you listen to these two, the Variations is going to come across a lot cleaner, a lot sweeter, a little bit more traditionally styled and flavored, whereas the Giant just comes across warm. Again, if you're looking for a pretty good neutral set, Variations might be a really good winner for you. The Giant's a different style of tonality, if you ask me. I wanted to compare this to the Annihilator. You notice this is even warmer than the Annihilator, like even a kind of a later bass rise. Maybe it starts around 650, whereas kind of the Annihilator starts differently. But the Annihilator sounds different, and part of the reason is because, first of all, it has a lot more presence region. Second of all, it kind of has this air region that's a little bit in a different style of tonality. And so that's something to really note, that like the Annihilator sounds a little bit more U-shaped, whereas the Giant feels like it slopes off and it just, without this presence region and mid-treble region, it gets kind of dark. Like one thing this actually reminds me of, we'll do this on the fly, but it's the Triton. And as we look at the Triton, let's get rid of that. You kind of notice a lot of similarities with the Triton. The Triton's even more recessed in that treble region, has a little bit more presence region, but very similar kind of tonality. Although I like the Giant better, it just feels a little bit airier and sparkling. It feels like the sound around you is a little bit better. Another one to look at is maybe like the Estrella. Like the Estrella kind of has a little bit less bass, but it kind of has that similar tonality note, but it doesn't have as much upper mids or this upper, kind of mid treble region. And so to me, like, the Australia is kind of a budget IM, but they're different. They're in different categories. Although the Australia is a nice sounding IM, if you're sensitive to these regions up here, it's gonna hit you pretty hard. And for me, it kind of did, but it is an enjoyable, fun set nonetheless. Yeah. All right, let's rank this up. This is a really pretty solid score, around 9.2. I will say if the mids, like the extra warmth, is not something that would bother you, I do think the IEM really would go up to maybe S tier from S minus. It is a really strong IEM. It doesn't image well, like it doesn't have this pristine cleanliness about it. It's very colored, and that colorization is not going to be for everyone. The note weight, the emphasis on the bass, and like bass guitars, that weight and emphasis is fantastic. There's a rich, deep bass that you don't get very often, and I think they did good things. My hot take I wrote, there's warm, warmer, then a huge gap, then the Giant. It's the warmiest. It's super warm, but it has great soundstage. So it has good bass, has good soundstage. It has a nice, fun, overall, solid presentation that I really enjoy listening to. And I think those people that get to try Giant someday are really going to like it. So I think this is something where if you're looking for a bassy set, I mean, in comparison to some other sets, like maybe the Jupiter, maybe the Glacier, even the Omnium, depending, that this is going to be a good value, and that does have some of the best overall bass and just overall presentation, but it does come at a cost with those mids being a little bit cooked and muffled, with a lot of vocals just having that extra deeper octave range and being a little bit chunky and a little bit. All right, the Symphonium Giant, does it get a recommendation? Yeah, I like it. I think this is a good set. This is a set that, oftentimes I can tell you after I've had a set for a few weeks whether I'm going to keep it or not, or whether I know. But I think this set has something about it that makes it unique. I think it's a good bassy set. The issue is if you want a solid, neutral, clean set, there's so many other options out there, but a lot of those sets suffer from the fact that they're kind of dull and boring. This set is not dull. This set is not boring, and it does a lot well. I think it's one of those sets that gets a strong recommendation if you're looking for a bassy set, and an absolute no if you're looking for a neutral set. And that's the easiest way to say how I feel about this. But I personally love this set. I think it's a treasure. I think it's something that if people want a fun, different style set, it's a king. And you should think about getting it if you're thinking about getting it, because I think you'll like it. But again, it's not for podcasts or normal vocals. Have a good day. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye-bye. You're still here. It's over. Go home. Oh, you're expecting a teaser for our next video. Well, we don't have that kind of money. What are you expecting? One of those store reviewers to show up in a saucy little leather number? Go. Oh, I can tell you one thing. We are going to have a collab video. We have no idea what it's going to be. Probably Kryn, maybe Chris, or Joyce. Don't deny it. She's got range. Go. Get out of here. Go. Go.
Go.
Go on with you.